Hello and welcome to the Category Management Strategy template. I'm Filipe Brito and I'm also today's guide for the Category Management Strategy template. The team at Procurement Tactics prides itself on over 20 years of procurement and negotiation experience, and we want to share this knowledge with you as best as possible. For today, let's focus on Category Management Strategy. Let's first ask what category management is and why it's essential in procurement. Category management is a strategic move in procurement where organizations group certain goods and services based on their similarities to external spend. Certain goods or services with similar characteristics are usually grouped using a global standard like the UN Standard Products and Services Code or a spend taxonomy, an internal classification method. This categorization allows for a focused approach to spending when it comes to similar goods or services. The head of advisory at Procurement Leaders, Jonathan Webb, says, at its most basic level, category management is about bundling items. Handling these similar goods and services as one category makes it easier to manage multiple things at once with the convenience and ease of bundling them as one. This adds up to company value as it reduces prices and costs, mitigates supply chain risks, and allows for strategic supply relationship management. Now, it is important to note that there is no right way when it comes to category management, but there are best practices that are usually followed. Let's talk about it. As discussed earlier, procurement categories are goods and services that have similar characteristics, which is why they are grouped in category. The categorization of these goods or services depends on many factors, including but not limited to the specific industry, organizational structure, spend profiles, and the external marketplace. At the highest level, there are two major groups of spend, which are direct categories and indirect categories. Let's break each of them down. Direct categories. The term direct in indirect categories refers to raw materials and items to use in the manufacture of goods for resale. It's all about goods and services that add to the core operations of the organization. They are vital components of the business and are usually acquired in large amounts and valued highly, which is why suppliers for them tend to be well trusted by the organization. Indirect categories. Indirect categories, on the other hand, are goods and services required for day-to-day operations. These products and services don't actively contribute to the creation of products and services of the organization. Here's a visual example we have cooked up between direct and indirect categories. The dark blue boxes are for categories while the light blue areas are for subcategories. We of course wouldn't leave you without the means to do this yourself, so here's a blank template for you to use. Now that we have talked about what category management is and what categories are, let's look into the steps in making a category management strategy. We have developed 8 steps for making a category management strategy. However, since this is only a template, we won't be able to fill you in all the details. Instead, we'll focus on the basics. Let's jump right into it. Something you have to understand about category management is that you need to be informed. Information such as the unique features and attributes of your market. In short, you have to understand market characteristics. Knowing the playing field and shaping your category plans to fit that playing field significantly increases your procurement success. Here are some of the things you'd want to look out for in understanding market characteristics or in knowing your playing field. Market size and growth, market structure and concentration, entry and exit barriers, product differentiation and consumer behavior, pricing dynamics, regulatory environment, and risk. As we have established, shaping your category plans to fit your playing field, which in this case is market characteristics, is a significant step in procurement success. This is what you do to earn that success. Adapting procurement strategies to market size and growth trajectories. Crafting sourcing and supplier strategies in line with market structures and concentration. Developing risk management and compliance protocols in response to regulatory and risk factors. Here's a template to align category plans to the market characteristics so that it is easier for you to understand. To use the template effectively, start by closely examining the key characteristics of the market that affect your buying categories. Key characteristics are dependent on the market you are examining. On the category strategy alignment level, shape your buying strategies so they match well with market conditions. Finally, supplier and risk management is where you are going to create specific plans for dealing with suppliers and managing any risks, considering your specific challenges. Here's the template to try it out. Let's move on to something equally as significant for category management, which is defining categories and the rules. When it comes to defining categories and their roles, managers have the flexibility to choose based on their strategic goals. An effectively crafted category in procurement should emphasize products grouped based on similar procurement needs, serving a dual purpose, simplifying the procurement process and enhancing overall category profitability. In procurement, category hierarchies break down the market into smaller, manageable segments for better strategic planning, thus maximizing value from each market segment and identifying cost-saving opportunities. Here's what it looks like. Now that we defined our category, we go on to define the roles. There are many possible roles like strategic categories, which are vital to business function and require careful management, or destination categories, which are for critical needs. There's also routine categories for regular supplies, seasonal categories for time-specific items, profit generators for high-margin goods, or complementary categories that support primary offerings. Understanding and defining the role of each category within a retail environment is a cornerstone for driving strategic decisions and optimizing operations. Think of it as a distinct job or responsibility assigned to a category. Here's a template to jumpstart identifying your categories. Now there are many steps in between and beyond some of the phases we have just talked about, and this is no exception. Last but never least are the 7 important category analyses that should be mastered when handling category management. There are basically 7 ins and outs of category analysis, which can be summarized in this handy checklist we made for it. There is still a lot you may want to know that are outside of the basics of category management, like all the different ways to gather and update your information for an efficient and up-to-date category strategy. However, for now we have reached the end of the line for this template. That is all for the category management strategy template. We have given you an overview of the basics of category management strategy. Feel free to use any of the templates we have provided for you here. Remember, making a category management strategy is challenging and there are many steps to go through, so you can give it your best, but we can guide you through every step of the way if you let us. Check out our Category Management in Procurement course, where we dive deeper into category strategy making and more. This has been Philippe, and we hope to see you next time.